In the quiet, cobblestone town of Whisper Creek, nestled deep within a valley, perpetually kissed by fog, lived a girl named Elara. She wasn't ordinary. While others her age dreamt of dances in distant cities, Elara's world came alive in the hushed pre-dawn hours. This is the story of the girl who spoke to spirits at dawn. Elara's gift, or curse, as some of the town elders muttered, manifested when she was just a child. She'd wake before the first rooster crowed, drawn to her window by a soft, ethereal light. Only she could see. In the silvery glow of the fading moonlight, she saw them. The spirits, they weren't scary phantoms from ghost stories. They were shimmering, translucent figures, remnants of souls who had stories left to tell. There was the old fisherman, his form woven from mist and moonlight, forever casting a net into a spectral river, searching for a lost locket. There was a young woman in a faded gown, humming a lullaby, her gentle eyes fixed on the empty cradle in the room she once occupied. They were echoes of the past, tied to Whisper Creek by love, loss, and unfinished business. Elara wasn't afraid. She felt a profound empathy for them. She'd sit by her window, her breath fogging the glass, and listen. They didn't speak in words, but in feelings, images, and scents. The salty tang of the sea from the fisherman, the faint aroma of lavender from the woman. Elara learned to understand their silent language. She became their confidant, the keeper of their forgotten tales. As Elara grew, her Predin conversations became a ritual. She'd bring the fisherman a smooth, gray stone from the riverbank, a small token to ease his search. She'd hum the lullaby back to the young mother, offering a moment of shared solace. Her room became a sanctuary, a bridge between the world of the living and the realm of lingering spirits. But secrets in a town like Whisper Creek are like water in cupped hands. They eventually spill. One morning, the town baker, rising early to knead his dough, saw Elara at her window, seemingly talking to the empty air. His confusion turned to suspicion, and soon the whispers began to follow Elara like her own shadow. "Strange girl," they'd say. "She communes with things unseen." Fear, as it often does, began to poison the town's perception of her. Parents pulled their children away as she passed. The once friendly smiles of neighbors turned into wary glances. Elara found herself isolated, her unique ability making her an outcast. The loneliness was a heavy cloak, and for the first time, she began to resent the spirits who visited her. She started to close her curtains, trying to shut out their silent pleas. The spirits, sensing her withdrawal, grew desperate. Their ethereal light flickered with anxiety. The fisherman's form became more agitated. The young mother's lullaby turned into a sorrowful keen. Their collective sadness seeped into the very atmosphere of Whisper Creek. A strange melancholy fell over the town. The fog seemed thicker, the sun weaker, and a sense of unease settled in every home. People felt a nameless grief they couldn't explain. It was Elara's grandmother, a woman with eyes as old as the valley itself, who finally understood. She found Elara one morning, huddled in her room, tears tracing paths on her cheeks. "You cannot deny who you are, child," she said softly, her hand on Elara's shoulder. "Your gift is not a curse. It's a key. These spirits aren't here to haunt us. They're here to be heard, and you are their voice." Her grandmother explained an old town legend, a story forgotten by most. Whisper Creek was built on a place of powerful spiritual energy. The spirits were guardians of the town's balance, and their peace was directly linked to the well-being of the living. By ignoring them, Elara had inadvertently disrupted this delicate harmony. A new resolve bloomed in Elara's heart. She wasn't a pariah. She was a conduit, a healer of spiritual wounds. That very night, she didn't wait for the spirits to come to her. She walked the center of the town square just as the moon reached its zenith. Closing her eyes, she opened her heart and mind wider than ever before. She called out to them, not with her voice, but with her spirit. "Tell me," she projected. "What do you need?" The response was immediate and overwhelming. A cascade of stories, emotions, and memories flooded her senses. She saw the fisherman not just searching for a locket, but for the forgiveness of the wife he'd argued with before his final voyage. The locket, was a symbol of his regret. She saw the young mother, who hadn't lost her child, but had passed away before her own baby was born, and her spirit yearned to know her child had grown up happy and loved. Empowered by this new understanding, Elara knew what she had to do. The next day, she approached the townspeople. Her voice, though quiet, resonated with a newfound confidence. She went to the fisherman's great-grandson, now an old man himself, and told him of his ancestors' regret. The man wept, remembering family stories of a locket and a great-grandmother who had always spoken of forgiveness. He took the locket, which had been passed down through generations, and placed it on the fisherman's grave by the river. Next, Elara found the descendant of the young mother. She relayed the spirit's longing. The woman, touched, brought a portrait of her family to the old abandoned house and told the story of her ancestor's child, who had indeed lived a long and joyful life, surrounded by love. As each spirit story was acknowledged and their emotional burden lifted by the living, a change swept through Whisper Creek. The spirits, one by one, found their peace. Their shimmering forms dissolved into motes of light, ascending into the dawn sky like tiny stars. The fisherman gave Elara a final, grateful nod. The young mother smiled, her lullaby fading on the morning breeze. With their departure, the oppressive fog over the town lifted, revealing a clear, vibrant sunrise unlike any the town had seen in years. The strange melancholy vanished, replaced by a sense of lightness and renewal. The townspeople looked at Elara not with fear, but with awe and gratitude. They finally understood that her strange gift was, in fact, the town's greatest blessing. Elara was no longer the strange girl who talked to empty air. She became Elara, the soul hearer, the keeper of whispers. She taught them that the past is never truly gone, and that listening with an open heart can heal wounds that span across generations. And every morning, as the sun began to warm the stones of Whisper Creek, she would stand and watch the dawn, not in solitude, but as a cherished guardian standing between the worlds, ensuring the balance and peace of her home. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the corners of the imagination. See you next time.